Hello and welcome to Ginger Welsh Allotments. I am Bethan and today I'm going to be pruning my black currants, red currants and gooseberry bushes. So I thought I'd show you how I do it. And I've got a few books, but this book is very good for explaining, well, the two books are very good for explaining how to grow vegetables and how to look after your fruit trees and bushes. And they have very good, let me find an example, they have very good diagrams in there of how to care and how to prune your plants. So I'll put a description of this in the comments below, and I shall now get on with showing you how I'm going to prune. I've not pruned any fruit bushes before. These have been growing for a year now. The black currants, it says in my book not to prune until 2 years, but I have noticed I've got a bit of crossing in my branches, so I'm just going to show you that and prune them out, and then I'm not going to touch them again. With all fruit bushes, you're kind of looking for it to be open at the centre. So with this one here, I've got this branch which is rubbing against this one, so I'm going to just snip that off right at the end there. And similarly, I've got this one that's going down to the floor, so I'm going to take that one off as well. And that is it. That is all I'm going to do to that one. I'm not going to trim any of the length or anything else. I'm just taking out those two bushes to help the structure of it. This one I'm a bit dubious about because it's coming right up the middle, but at the moment it looks like it's growing and it's not going to interfere with anything, so I'm leaving it alone. And I'll just move on to the other blackcurrant plant because one of them is absolutely fine and doesn't need anything doing to it. Now this one is an interesting one because it's actually collapsed a bit. The bush is not growing straight up, it's growing a bit of a diagonal. Now I could stake it and try and pull it back up, but I think I'll just let it do its own thing and go with how it's growing at the moment. So this one is on the floor, this branch here is on the floor, so I'm going to take that one out. And this one here is rubbing against that one there, so I'm taking that one out as well. And everything else is looking okay. So I'm going to leave that alone now and move on to the red currants. So with the red currants, I'm going to take off about half of the new growth from this year. So I'm going to give it a good bit of a trim. That one's okay. I'm cutting on a bit of a diagonal so that when it rains, the rain will slide off, as it is raining now. And I'm just going to take this one out here because it's rubbing again, so I'm just going to cut right to the base. And I'll take this one as well because that's going right in the middle, which isn't an issue for now, but it might be in a couple of years time. And that's it. I'm going to rush around and do the others before it gets too heavy. The rain, that is. Now you will need gloves with the gooseberries because they are thorny and they will hurt. Again, this bush is quite good. I'm just going to take a bit of the top growth off, cutting at an angle. And then I'm just going to take any that look like they might be crossing slightly. But this is grown quite nicely at the moment, so I'm reasonably happy with this one. I'm trying to cut at a bit of an angle so that any new growth will grow upwards rather than downwards. A bit like that. One final check, nothing crossing anywhere. No, that should be quite good. Now this one has an awful lot of branches curving downwards, which again you don't really want. You want the branches to grow upwards so that they're not on the floor, dragging on the floor. So I'm going to take that one out. This one I'm going to cut so hopefully it'll grow upwards. It's beginning to rain very heavily now, and I don't mind working in the rain, but I don't want my camera to be out in the rain. So I'm going to carry on with the gooseberry bushes and get them done, but I'm going to put the camera away now. So if you are thinking of pruning your fruit bushes, all I can say is just be bold, have a read up about it first so you know what you're doing, and just be courageous really, because I'm not entirely sure if I've done it right. We'll know next summer if I get any fruit. But all I can say about that is lovely job, although it's a bit wet.